When you resolve something, to have a resolution is to resolve it. When you've resolved, this is how it's going to be, that's when you cut off any possibility except the thing you've committed to. It's like the old adage, if you want to take the island, you burn the boats. Because when you burn those boats, there's no going back. You're going to find a way to make things work. And most people, they're stating what they hope will come together, and if it doesn't happen, then they're disappointed, but they're not too disappointed because they're not too vested. What does it take to successfully create a lasting change in your life? To not only have a New Year's resolution you follow through on, but really have a lasting change? Well, the first step for lasting change is very much like making a New Year's resolution. Fundamentally, it's the same. The first step is you got to have a vision for what it is you really, truly want. Not what you think you want or what you should have. I mean, what are most people's New Year's resolutions? I'm going to stop eating sugar. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to lose 10 pounds. The problem with that is it's not very inspiring for most people. It's not telling you what you're going to get. It's only what you're not going to do. And it's kind of hard to have you move forward with that. A vision is about what you're here to create. A vision that really works is one that excites you. If you say, well, my resolution, my goal, my outcome for this month, this week, this year is to lose X number of pounds, that's okay, but it's not very compelling. It has to be a compelling vision. It's got to have something that has the power to pull you, not something you have to push yourself to do. Those are two different kinds of motivation. Push requires willpower, and willpower never lasts. What will last is pull. Having something so exciting, so attractive, something you desire so much that you have a hard time going to sleep at night and you get so up early in the morning to rock it and take it to the next level. That's what you're looking to create. And that isn't easy to get. I want you to try something if you would. Please stand up. Please stand up if you would. Shake your body out. You can adjust your camera if you can. If you can't, it's okay. I can see it. And what I want you to do, really simply, is I'll show you first. Here's what they did. They took students and elderly people, people of all ages, and they tried something. They called it power posture. So I want you to put your hands on your hips like Wonder Woman or Superman or something like that, Batman, your shoulders are back, hands on your hips, just breathing fully. And here's what they found. Within 2 minutes, keep doing it, but some of you aren't breathing, I see. Still breathe. That's it. I see you there. Good, good, good. Now, while you're doing it, for 2 minutes, if you just stand like this and breathe fully, shoulders back, your testosterone, doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, your testosterone will increase by 20% in your body, that release in your body, which gives you strength and drive. But also, just doing this for 2 minutes, and they found your stress hormone, which is cortisol, will drop literally by 25%, and your risk tolerance, your willingness to go do something you were afraid of, changes by 33%. In other words, you're 33% more likely to take action than you were before if you just stand like this for 2 minutes. The other one they have is seen a guy, who's got his arms behind his back and his legs are up at the desk at the office. That does the same thing, believe it or not. Now, I don't do this. I show people how to produce the energy by movement and voice. So just for a second, do me a favor. No matter where you are, I want you to wake up your nervous system. So I'm gonna ask you to do some things that sound weird, but they're scientific. And one of them is the way you make sound affects the way you feel, radically. It changes your biochemistry. It also, when I ask you to make a sound, if you'll just do it instinctively, not think about it, it makes it go to the deepest part of your brain, the reptilian portion of your brain, which wakes up your nervous system. So right now, while you're standing like this, just try something. Make the sound out loud, don't worry about anybody around, of being totally excited. What's the sound you make if you're totally excited? Make that sound, go. But one of the reasons we do seminars and events, and we say, why do that? Why not just read a book or something? Is because when you get in an environment where you're with people that are being put in a peak state, like when you're going to a sporting event, if you watch a sporting event at home, it might have a certain level of excitement. But when you're in a stadium with 50,000 people, suddenly it has a whole different level of intensity. And we feel that. And the bottom line of our follow-through comes down to our emotional intensity. In a different state of mind, you're going to come up with a much better and a more exciting vision than if you're sitting on the couch going, okay, what are my new resolutions for this year? And you're doing it the morning after the new year started and you're a little inebriated and the football game's on in the background. Probably not going to have the power of focus there. Probably not going to have the power of the energy to create something that's going to pull you for this year. And you got to do that. So it's got to be a vision that's compelling. Something that it's going to be a gift to make sure that it happens. And also, along with that compelling vision, you gotta have strong enough reasons that you're gonna follow through when the going gets tough. That's one of the biggest things missing for most people. They say, oh, this is what I wanna do. It's not very exciting, it's not very compelling, but most importantly, they don't have strong enough reasons to push themselves through what's gonna be necessary to get that dream, to get that goal, when the inevitable challenges come up, when you're starving, hungry, and you're trying to go on a diet, right? When you got no time and you're stressed out and you haven't worked out still, and that's what you're supposed to do. When the economy gets tight and what you thought you're gonna do doesn't work, and so you give up on the goal instead of finding another way to get there. You don't let the fear take you over if you've got strong enough reasons. Those reasons can be positive, or those reasons can also be negative. They can be, if I don't do this, this is what's gonna cost me. And if I do this, this is what I'm gonna gain in my life. Everything you would say to me, whatever you're gonna say to me about why we get in a relationship, underneath it, even if you say, so we can make a difference in the world together, but why do you wanna make a difference? Because it's gonna make you feel something. There's only one reason we get in a relationship, to magnify human emotion. That's it, that's God's gift. How many of you, when you're excited about something, first thing you think about is who you wanna tell or share it with? How many of you relate to this in some way? Say, I. So some people use a friend, but the intimate relationship, if it's not only safe, but there's real love and passion there, there's no greater place. If there's trust, if there's respect, there's no greater place for this. But the challenge, of course, is most people don't have it at that level. And one of the reasons, again, is there's not that emotional fitness. Here's what you gotta know. People feel, they find their center of gravity and then they blame their partner. And here's what I mean by this. When 9/11 happened, I'll never forget, I had this experience. I was in Hawaii, I was doing a program there for a couple thousand people from 45 countries. We were translating 4 languages simultaneously. It was a 10-day program I used to do that was full tilt from 8 in the morning to midnight. I mean, you had people from all over the world, real leaders. And I just said, living. When do people really begin to live? When they face death. If they face death and they look it in the eye and decide to live, they really start to live. And I said, what would your life be like if in the next 10 days you knew you couldn't get off this island? And these are the last 10 days of your life. What would you do different? Who would you call? What would you say? What truth would you tell? What feelings would you share? And I went on with us for like 15 minutes. That night, 911 happened. At 3 o'clock in the morning, they called me to tell me the buildings had just dropped. And we had 200 people from New York there, because I have a lot of people in the financial district that are my clients. And there were at least 45 people we knew immediately that had lost their entire company, all their friends, family, their husbands, their wives, instantaneously. 3 o'clock in the morning, you go outside and it was pandemonium, because you got people from all these cultures, every religion was represented in the room. And so outside, there were people that were crying uncontrollably because they knew the end times were here. There were people out there that were fighting because some people were celebrating. I mean, it was brutal. No one thought I'd get everybody in the room. I got them in the room and I said, today is about emotional mastery. That was the scheduled portion of that day it was supposed to be. I said, and this is the real test. And so we brought people together and I got people to express to me and tell each other, at the moment that 911 happened, what did they focus on? Because these are 3 decisions that shape your life. Number 1, what are you gonna focus on? Right now while I'm talking, you're making a decision what to focus on. It's what shapes your life. It shapes every relationship, it shapes your entire destiny. Are you focused on what this is gonna mean to your life? Are you focusing on who the hell is he to tell me that? Are you focusing on the smell of your neighbor after that jumping up and down? Whatever you focus on, you feel, don't you? Even if it's not true, you feel it. So focus is the first decision we make. Second decision is, what does this mean? Is this the end or the beginning? If you think it's the end in a relationship, you're gonna behave very differently than if you think it's the beginning. Is God punishing me with this? Is God teasing me? Is God challenging me? Is this God's reward? One shift in meaning instantaneously changes your emotion, and your emotion is your life. And then the third decision we make every moment is, what are we gonna do? Pull back, go forward, give up, sit down, stand up, make it happen. So I ask people, what'd you focus on? What did it mean? What'd you decide to do?
If you're not working, man, if you're not vibrating at a frequency that people say, my God, how does that guy do all that? 10x levels, massive action, tremendous work ethic that's just a muscle now, and it's just a discipline in your life, and it's a normal way. You're not going to get in that top 10%. Success is your duty. It is your obligation and your responsibility.
You want to sing, and even though they won't invite you to Carnegie Hall, you're going to sing to anybody that listens to you, including singing to yourself. You got to write, even if no one published your book, write, because that was given to you to do.
You better grind, because if you don't, you'll be stuck at that adversity for the rest of your life. Whatever it is, you'll be stuck there. Why don't I get something for us? You ain't got to have the best head in life. You ain't got to start with the two-parent background.
And there's some of you, you know what you want, but you are not personally willing to do the work it takes to get it. What you're trying to do is do what you've done on this level and get the next level. You're like, I'm getting up every day. I'm lifting weights. I'm eating right.